17.
This one is adjusted. This one is not taking my picture. Looking
It is.
at this. It's on the screen. It's on this screen. It can't be. Check that.
There you are.
Oh, well, it's on a weird, it's on a totally, it's on like
That's
a
just the
picture of the
laptop.
ocean.
Yeah, I see you.
Okay.
We can see you. Now you're standing in front of it.
Okay, see, this is how tech challenged I am. Okay, welcome everybody to our Trinidad community meeting of May. Okay, everybody, just so you know, we have papers you can take home on these two tables here. You have my
What's that?
business cards.
Okay, you can go now.
Just on all of them.
You don't.
Just on all of them. Hi, everybody. Welcome. So, this is our May Trinidad community meeting. We are here, our special guest speaker is Dana Brooks of the Department of Behavioral Health. She's LICSW, of the 24/7 community response team. They go out in case of emergency to anyone that needs serious help and assistance. And then afterwards, we're going to have Derek, what's your last name? Derek Floyd of the VI's Cure the Streets. Yay, the heroes of our community. So we have a lot of papers on the tables for you all to take home, different things about DPW, registration for disability parking, all kinds of things. There's a pamphlet about the MVD, all kinds of things. So you're welcome to help yourself. So Dana, here's Dana. And thank you so much, everybody, for coming and talking to you on Zoom. We'll hear you on Zoom as well.
One second.
Can everyone inside the room hear me okay?
Move over
I'm
to the
afraid
left.
to stand in front of. Okay,
It's
it's better.
perfect. No, but just a little, because then we can see you, they can see you too.
They can see me now?
Yeah.
Okay, they can see me?
Yes, ma'am.
Can everyone that's on Teams or Zoom hear me?
I think they-
The-
They want you to use this mic instead, the phone. You just hold it near you.
Okay.
Okay, is that better?
Sign interpreter doesn't think so.
Not better?
No?
No?
It has an echo.
That she said that.
Is this any better? Am I maybe standing too close? A little bit better?
We can work with that.
Okay. Well, thank you, Anna and Salvador, for having me. And thank you all for coming tonight. I know we've all had a long day. As Ms. Anna stated, my name is Dana Brooks. I'm the interim director for the community response team at the Department of Behavioral Health. And on the screen, we just have a map of DC, just letting you know that we serve the entirety of DC. Okay, next. Take this. Okay, I don't know if those in your room can see this. Maybe a little bit bigger, but basically, community response. We are a 24/7 multidisciplinary direct service team, and we support adults, children and youth on a limited basis who are experiencing some type of behavioral health or psychiatric or emotional distress in the community. Can they still hear me okay? Okay, great. We're a team of clinicians, behavioral health specialists, and we also employ the use of peer recovery specialists that have lived experience. We've actually found that utilizing peers as part of our interdisciplinary team has been extremely helpful when we're engaging individuals. So as a state, we conduct on-the-spot crisis assessments. So when we receive a call from an individual, whether it be someone in the community, another provider, a hospital, we go to where that individual is. We do not have office-based services. We are probably about 98% in the community. All of our services are in the community. We go to homes, we go to residences, we go to businesses, schools, if necessary, depending on the age of the individual, and we will do the assessment right then and there where the person is. And whatever the intervention is, it may include referrals and follow-ups. There are some times where it does require involuntary hospitalization if necessary, but that's not always the end outcome of our engagement. Of course, we try to engage individuals with their unmet needs, and we encourage treatment. That can be behavioral health treatment, which includes mental health or psychiatric or substance use treatment. We also do a component of homeless services outreach and support. We are also part of the mayoral's Department of Health and Human Services homeless outreach team, as well as their encampment team. So we do a level of homeless service outreach with individuals that are experiencing periods of homelessness. It can be street level homelessness or individuals that are experiencing what we call couch surfing or unstable housing. Of course, connection to supportive services. We also offer harm reduction options. We do a lot of outreach in the community where we educate on naloxone as well as distribute naloxone to individuals. And I know particularly in this particular catchment area, the Mount Olivet area, a little bit further down over by our what we call Starburst, that Bladensburg, Maryland intersection. We do a lot of work in those areas as well, just to name a few, but because we're on this side, that's a pretty common area where we frequent and we do harm reduction, education, and outreach. One of our other supportive services is we work with our law enforcement partners to support diversion from the criminal justice. So in partnership with MPD, there's an option for individuals that come to law enforcement's attention for low-level offenses that are believed to be related to a mental health, has a mental health nexus. They can refer to us as a diversion option for this individual to enroll and seek services as opposed to going into the criminal justice system. We respond to critical incidents. Our Cure the Streets partner knows all too well some of the critical incidents that we experience in the communities. And generally, when a community has experienced a critical or traumatic event, we have been called to support individuals, and we do respond and provide grief and trauma support to individuals that may be in need. And of course, we participate in community events just like this, where we're providing education to the community about our services and services that are available to you as DC residents as well. Okay, next. So I gave just a really quick kind of like flow chart for our Access Helpline. So the Access Helpline is another portal that serves as an entryway into our services, not just for community response services, but for any other services that are offered by the Department of Behavioral Health, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But you can call Access Helpline, and I have the number in the slide, and they can provide support telephonically, whether you have a question about services, whether you are struggling with something or you know someone that's struggling, the Access Helpline can provide that support. This also serves as our 988 hub. if you're not familiar with the 988, which is a national number. It's a suicide helpline, but it's also just really a helpline for individuals that may need some support, whether it's a connection to services or they need some support telephonically. The Access Helpline is a good way to access services. And with the Department of Behavioral Health, there is no wrong door. So if you call Access Helpline and they cannot support you, they will connect you to the program that can. And it's the same with the community response team. If there's a reason why we can't respond to it, we will connect you to the appropriate program. So again, with us, you can call us directly, we can gather information, we can accept a referral, and it could be something that could be managed telephonically. And at that point, it will be resolved. But if we determine that it requires a face-to-face intervention, we will gather additional information and prepare to deploy a team, leading to creating an intervention and resolves it, which could be coordinating care with another entity, a community provider, or again, facilitating hospitalization that I talked about. Okay, next. So again, these are just some of the services. As I stated, the Access Helpline, they can provide direct linkage to mental health services in the community. This is the number, 888-793-4357. Some of you may be familiar with it. It's 888-WE-HELP, which is a pretty simple and easy way to remember the number. And again, you can get an assessment by phone in connection to resources. It does serve as our 988 hub, and we can attempt to de-escalate by phone. Depending on the nature of the call, Access Helpline may make a determination that CRT is appropriate for that deployment, or it may require law enforcement. There are some criteria that we have, whereas, for example, if there's a weapon involved, or if someone is experiencing what they believe to maybe be medical distress, you do not call CRT. You want to call 911 for fire and emergency services or MPD, depending on the nature of the call, for an immediate and the most appropriate safe response. And Access Helpline is also available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So anytime you call, you're going to get someone. I included our same-day urgent care clinics. Some of you may be familiar with it. We call it the clinic at 35 K Street, just a couple of blocks from here. It's a walk-in clinic, same-day services, no appointment necessary, and you can get an on-the-spot, face-to-face mental health assessment with a psychiatrist, brief vitals with a nurse, and then if you require connection to services, there's a team of community behavioral health specialists that can link the individual to mental health services in the community. And I've indicated their number. They are not 24 hours a day. So if you are interested or want to pass on the information to someone, it's recommended that you call to make sure that you have their hours of operation. So they do have intake hours, and there is a cutoff point. I'm not quite sure, so I put the number there in case you have any questions. You can call them directly. I don't know if anyone is familiar with CPAP. Has anyone heard CPAP? So CPAP is on the grounds of the old DC General, where the Department of Corrections is located. CPAP is just a shortened way of saying the Comprehensive Psychiatric Emergency Program. So the CPAP functions as the Department of Behavioral Health Psychiatric Emergency Room. So again, similar to K Street, but a little bit more where individuals are experiencing those emergency psychiatric episodes. CPAP is a place where you can access treatment. And if necessary, after someone is triaged and stabilized, if they require transfer to long-term psychiatric treatment and stabilization, that can happen. So a good example is someone coming into our CPAP needing longer-term treatment and going to PIW. They can facilitate that treatment for the individual. They are 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because they do function as a psychiatric emergency room. Only psychiatric. So if you're experiencing any other medical or somatic conditions, please go to an emergency room. But if the person is experiencing a psychiatric emergency, CPAP is a good place where you can get treatment. and you get readily access to treatment. Different from a traditional emergency room where you may have an extended wait to see a psychiatrist. Here, if you come into CPEP, that's all we do. So you're going to see a psychiatrist pretty immediately. Any questions before I go on about those services so far? Okay. The Assessment and Referral Center, this functions for our individuals that are looking for substance use treatment. And again, sometimes we look at behaviors of individuals and there's really substance use induced. And those individuals, again, can go on site, same day substance use assessment, and they can also receive a referral for treatment. There are other assessment and referral centers in the community that are now certified by the Department of Behavioral Health, but this is located at 75 P Street, right on the backside of, I believe it's the old People's Pharmacy building, right off of New York Avenue. That's the building where DBH is, and the Assessment and Referral Center is right on the backside on P Street. And again, they provide direct referrals and transfer to treatment. So if this person meets criteria and the recommended level, say, for example, inpatient treatment, the Assessment and Referral Center will facilitate that person getting into that treatment. They're not 24 hours a day or 7 days a week, and I've put that number down so that way if you want to explore their services and their hours of intake, you can simply call them. Okay. One more, I want to make sure. So this is the number to contact the community response team. I've also left some cards on the table. Please feel free to take them. Please distribute them to your neighbors and other members of the community. You can certainly keep the cards for future meetings when you have more or other people coming. But this is our number. Again, we are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can call. So what does a mental health, I guess, crisis or emergency look like? Anybody have an idea of what it might look like? Mm-hmm.
Are visibly distressed and mumbling and speaking to spirit.
Okay, it's a good way to describe it. Would you call? No, it's a good way to describe it. Would you call community response team for that individual?
I might.
Okay.
Now that I know that there's a resource.
Are they doing anything?
I just, I guess I fear that they will escalate.
Okay.
And that's where I'm,
Concerned.
hesitant. Yes.
Okay. Well, if you're not sure, you don't have to definitively know. That's why you can always give us a call. Look, this is what I'm seeing. Not quite sure, and we'll ask: is he or she doing anything? Are they looking like they're walking into traffic? Are they screaming and starting to now disturb the neighbors in the community? Are they maybe under the influence? Are they yelling and screaming, again, interrupting the quality of life in the community?
Next door to this person, so yeah.
Okay. So that would be a good call. That would be a good call for CRT.
Yes.
That would be a good call. That would. Anyone else? A thought? Sure.
Right on the access hotline. Can you fix it so it's working?
Hi, okay, thank you. So I checked on the access hotline number, because I saw on the slide, it said if we call that, they make a determination of CRT or MPD. So
Yes.
do we call the access hotline or do we call CRT directly if we feel like that would be a better fit?
You can call either one. You can call us. You can call Access Helpline. You have both of our numbers. So if you see something, you can always give us a call directly. If it escalates to the level where, again, it's more appropriate for MPD, we'll let you know. This sounds like a call for MPD. We're going to conference in 911.
Got it. I guess, so if we call you or the access hotline and the individual does not want MPD to intervene, like they're open to CRT, but you all decide you're not the best, can we then say, they don't want to be transferred to MPD? Is that a possibility?
It is. Just because you're calling and that's our determination, you can always say, you know what, I really don't want MPD, but what we will do is we will try and walk you through the scenario? Can you give us a little bit more information? Because understandably, a lot of people don't want to involve MPD, right? Many of our communities don't really want to introduce law enforcement, but the situation may really require it. So we may walk you through and explain why MPD or law enforcement response in conjunction with CRT or separate from CRT is actually necessary. But we'll have that conversation, but you always have the option to say, you know what, I really don't want that response, so I don't want to submit this referral.
Could you repeat
Good
the
question.
access hotline number again?
It's, I invert numbers, so if I'm not looking at it, I believe it's 888-793,
4357.
that's it. Or 888, we help. We help.
Yeah, I had a quick question.
Sure.
All of the resources that you listed, is there like a QR code that could be placed where people can kind of scan it? Or like, what is the best way to get people this information?
You know, QR code is interesting.
I was just wondering if something like that kind of already existed. Like if I were to share it with the people that live in my building, like what would be the best way to get them that resource? Like I know you have the card here, but
Right.
what would be, do you have any other kind of ways that that information can get out?
I don't, but I think that that's a good, and I'll double check to see if there's a QR code that kind of drops and directs you to the different, you know, for somebody to readily have. We don't, but that's actually a really good question.
An Instagram page or like Twitter or something?
We have a Facebook page, definitely. I'm not that much on social media, but I know we have a Facebook page. We probably have a Twitter page as well. So if you Google or put in Department of Behavioral Health, it should come up. I know definitely we have a Facebook page.
Okay, cool. And I have
one of those pages may have a QR code, so double check.
cool.
Double check.
And let's say you see someone and they're experiencing a crisis of some sort. Should you engage? Like, let's say you see something and you're like, well, my style isn't really to engage, but we call you. Do we need to stay kind of in the area, or can we just describe where we were? What was happening?
You can describe what you saw. We, you know, particularly if you're not sure what's going on, I wouldn't advise you to engage that individual. You don't have to stay on the scene. You can be down the street and you can say, look, I walked past, this person is in front of the CVS. He had on the red sweatshirt and this is what he was doing. And we may ask, are you familiar with this person or are you on scene? No, I removed myself. I'm a block away, but I wanted to call so that way someone can come and assess what might be going on. So you do not have to stay on scene and you don't even have to give your name. You can remain anonymous. So if you're calling about a neighbor, if you're calling about a friend that you're concerned about, and this may be one way to get a family member some help, you do not have to give your name. You can be anonymous. You can be anonymous. Okay. Any other questions for me that I may be able to answer? Okay. Well, what I will do is, I didn't put it on the slides, but I will give you my email address. If you think of something or if you just had another question that comes to your mind, you can certainly email me. But if you do want to make a referral for someone, you can certainly call the number. Yes, sir. Sure.
I think I have a question. Community members want to know sometimes when they do share with us, make those phone calls, they get people on the ground in certain specific experiences or sites with individuals. How long, or at least can you reference the time that some folks stay in the purpose? Sometimes in Trinidad, we get folks that have psychotic episodes or moments with due to drugs or what have you. A lot of residents obviously feel different ways about it, they get upset, but we tend to see the folks back on the streets with their days. So can you just touch a little bit about that process works and how we can be better educated on what to expect in the future?
Right. No, that's a really good question. We get that a lot of times from community members. Going to the hospital for a mental health or a psychiatric issue is no different if you need to go to the hospital because your blood sugar spiked or your blood pressure dropped unexpectedly, right? You go to the emergency room or to your provider, and once you are stabilized, what happens? You get released, right? And what do they tell you? Follow up with your primary care physician. It is the same situation when we have someone that's experiencing a psychiatric episode. Once they go to a facility, if that is the outcome of our intervention, once that person is stabilized psychiatrically and no longer presents a danger to themselves or others, they are released with the same recommendations. Please follow up with your outpatient mental health provider. I think the challenge comes in is when we have those individuals that aren't engaged in a provider, so there is no follow-up. So they come back to our attention again, and sometimes it's a cycle that happens. We're just trying to keep this person engaged until we can either get them to agree to engage in an outpatient community health provider or some longer-term intervention has to take place. Sometimes we have individuals and they get into the system and there's a petition for guardianship. And now someone is trying to watch over them and have a little bit more oversight. But as you can imagine, that can be a lengthy process. But generally, that's what happens. Once this person is stabilized after a couple of days, roughly 3 to 4 days, you'll probably see someone come back unless they've had a longer hospitalization at one of our hospitals. They're being discharged once they're stabilized. Yes.
Does your, let me call your organization, but does the crisis
community response team
also work with nonprofits that might engage in long-term help, such as the Salvation Army? They have a long-term center for drug addiction, substance abuse. Or I'm thinking maybe I'm just trying to understand if you have allies or a network of other organizations that you can make referrals.
We do. The Department of Behavioral Health has what we call a provider network. So there are probably 60 plus community agencies that are contracted with the Department of Behavioral Health to provide outpatient mental health services. You may have seen some of them in the community. Amazing Love used to be around the corner on like 15th Street. I forgot what it is now. MBI, Anchor, Community Connections, Prestige. Like, these are just names of providers in the community that are responsible for providing the outpatient mental health services, and we do work with them. Yes. Okay. All right. Well, I will give my email address. It's my first name, Dana, DANA, .Brooks at dc.gov. And of course, you have the cards with the community response team contact number. If you want to call, ask a question, make a referral, you can reach out to us that way. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Switch to interpreters. Oh, okay, taking a small break. Good. Okay. So our next presenter is actually going to be talking about our violence interruption program here in Trinidad. Mr. Derek Floyd is a new program manager for Cure the Streets. It's right in the northern end of Trinidad, right off of Mount Olivet Road. That's where their offices are. Mondays happen to be their days off, so please appreciate his time for coming out to the meeting today. But they are available practically almost 24/7 in the community, especially if you know how to use them as a resource. So, Mr. Floyd, please come on up. Tell us about Cure the Streets and what y'all doing right now.
Thank you. I didn't know I was speaking. Violence interruptions. So Cure the Streets, we're looking to have innovative ways at this approach. Obviously, it's not a one-stop shop. Am I good standing right here?
Yes, you are.
It's not a one-stop shop for any of us, right? So I'll go with me, I guess at the helm, is to incorporate collaborations. I've worked with a lot of the agencies, DYRS, WANS, DOES, I mean, every far Southeast, really anybody who can help or who's doing the work legitimately is who I want to work with and partner with. And so I've tried to bring that same approach here. My tenure as a program director over at Cure the Streets in Trinidad. And we've had some pretty successful events in the last 4 months, job fairs, resource fairs, community cleanups. We know that once we start to instill pride and a sense of home into the community for some of our residents who might not feel that, right? They might feel hopeless, they might feel helpless, but maybe when they see that someone sees them genuinely, then they might see themselves a little different. So that's what we've been trying to instill and try to add and implement. We look to partner with anyone in the community, and this is y'all community, first and foremost. We look to partner with any of you all who are doing the work and who need the work done. And we looking for innovative ways and creative ways to kind of bring the whole community together. New, old, young, old, male, female, anything in between, everybody in between. Let's bring everybody together. Because we all got to live here and have the same space. So really for us, we feel like if we can increase communication amongst each other, we can create understanding and really protect each other here. I don't really know what else to say. I didn't expect to be making a presentation. We do a weekly event for young women, our girls group. We kick all the guys out, right? And then we just partner with the Trinidad Rec Center to do that every Wednesday. The first Friday of every month, we open our office to the whole community. It's a Friday wrap-up where we do peer mediation, restorative justice, games, food. If it's kids in the neighborhood who might have a birthday, they don't have family or parents or whatever, we've done birthday parties in there. So we try to do that. That's the first Friday of every month. And we try to do at least 2 to 3 community events a month and 4 to 5 participant events every month, whether it be resource fair, job fairs, like I said, just anything you can think of and everything you can think of. We have upcoming events. Like I said, every Wednesday at the Rec Center. Please, anyone who wants to come and join can come and join and sit with the young ladies, mentor, guide, offer some tutelage, because that's really what we need. Those crosses across generational gaps, and sometimes we gotta get rid of those gaps. And sometimes we gotta realize there's not no big eyes and little U's and back in my days and y'all kids these days, and we just gotta see each other and hear each other, because we was them. Maybe not as rambunctious, but there's a different time that they deal with as well that we probably can't even comprehend or understand. The anxiety of it all, the mental. They don't have, oddly enough, in our generation, for me in this age bracket I'm in, mental health is a thing. People talk about it. The millennials and Generation X, people talk about it. Maybe more so than the boomers were talking about it, right? But then Generation Z, they're not talking about it at all. And they have mental health complexities that we couldn't even comprehend. With social media, with video games, just entertainment, period, movies, music. We don't even know the firsthand of what they're experiencing. Every day they have to get up and go out into the world and being judged every day. Everything they do, they've been watched. And so it's complex. And so, like I said, we try to offer programming that can address these things. On the 25th, we're doing a summer kickoff right before Memorial Day, right before the summer starts. We'll be doing haircuts and braider, whatever. Just all the resources we could think of, anybody we think of. Come set up until we love to have DBH there, DOES, DYRS. We want everybody there at the table. Not just when something bad happens, that's a reactionary thing, right? Oh, it was a shooting, let's react. Let's be proactive. Let's meet them before that happens. Let's give them, hey, let's give them a haircut. Let's get them a nice outfit. Let's give them a job so that we don't have to worry about them and they don't got to worry about us, right? You know, and so we just trying to tackle these things before they hit us head on. So you win some, lose some. We did the resource fair right there on Mount Olivet and Montello, and had 67 people walk up and do interviews. Coincidentally, 2 days later, 4 of those individuals were shot right there at the same parking lot. So it's a complex thing, right? One of our outreach workers was right there, working with a participant, giving him a hug and telling him, "I'm good to see you," when the bullets start flying. And she was right there, had to drag people to safety. This is the type of work we're doing. It's not just, you know, in the data, or, you know, some of the stuff you can't quantify with data. Like, how do you write that in the report? You know, that the bullets went right past my head. How do you write that I was pulling somebody's safety as the bullets was going off? It's hard to document that, right? But this is the work we're doing. We would love to work alongside any of you all in a genuine way to get some real tangible results. Any questions?
Actually, we were hoping that both you and MPD would be right back.
Okay.
So I'll just come back. Could say some words about what you do when there's large gatherings outside, like how you handle that.
Well, we just had a town hall, so and I'll try to make sure you all have my information so I can, whatever events we had a town hall. God willing, we could build on that, because it was about 20 people there. Maybe should have been 200 there, right? I mean, it was right at the rec center. But that was a question that was brought up about the fear that some residents feel when they look outside their window and it's 50 people, 100 people, however many people, right? And it was, to be honest with you, it was a diverse selection of answers, right? Because there's no one, you know, because hey, I asked the lady, did you go outside and get a cheeseburger? You know, did you go have a beer? Because these are your neighbors, and you wouldn't feel terrified if you knew them. You wouldn't feel terrified for your life if it was just your neighbor, but instead it's some guy with a ski mask who looks sketchy. I watched the news, and I know, you know, that guy might protect you if anything should happen. That guy might say, no, leave Ms. Johnson alone. It's all about communication. And again, like I said, sometimes we just gotta see each other and hear each other. The young lady asked the MPD chief of police at the town hall, what's the number of people that could be standing outside before we call the police? And the captain, it was the chief and the captain, but the captain responded that you have to wait until they break the law. So that would be my answer to you. If you see someone breaking the law and it's causing you a threat to your safety, yeah, absolutely. Pick up the phone and call. But if it's just a group of guys that you don't know outside Congress, we don't know. They could be outside mourning because a friend they had since they were 2 years old just got shot in the forehead. Does that terrify you, or does it terrify them, knowing that the imminent threat of danger is always constant, yet they just want to memorialize a loved one who was here? Some of this stuff is cultural, and we have to acknowledge that as opposed to giving it to our own fears. Fear is just a lack of knowledge. That's just a lack of knowledge, and maybe they scared of you. Oh man, that lady gonna call the police on me. You know what I mean? We're scared because the police pull up, they got guns on their hips. PTSD is real. We talk about people in warfare and things of that who suffer from these mental, but this is untreated mental disease that's happening right here. We're seeing right now people responding because they're overdosing or they're self-medicating, and they're dealing with grief and depression and pain. It's not being acknowledged or treated. And then we ask them to respond rationally. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We have to start seeing each other, hearing each other, and understanding each other in a way that's far more deep than I can explain right here. Any other questions? I do appreciate that question. It's a real question.
Yeah, actually, that was like supposed to be the topic of like this half hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I totally agree. I think a lot of people have a lot of fear. It's sort of a cultural divide. Like some people feel like it's not cool to hang out outside. Other people feel like that's the best thing in the world, to hang out outside. And I think you're totally exactly right. It's a lot of fear and people should say hi to each other. And sometimes people are bad people, whether they're the ones afraid of the people hanging outside or the people hanging outside. They can be bad, but usually they're not. Usually they're nice people.
Yes, ma'am. And in my experience, like you said, if you communicate with each other, like I said, they might say, "Oh, there goes Miss Johnson. Let's move down the street. Let's move off her porch," just because they know that you took the time out to communicate with them. I guarantee you, it's not. I mean, there's no boogeyman. The guys outside probably more scared of the person that's scared of them than they. I mean, just be honest with you. You know, because we don't have a gang that can come outside with their guns and flashlights and legally shoot us. Just being realistic, right? Whoever picks that phone up and calls 911, you got a gang. No disrespect to them, but you know, it is what it is. At any moment, they could pull up and say, "We got a phone. We did a community cleanup." And the police poured up on us. I had a broom in my hand with gloves on in the trash bag. And they said we were called for disturbance and it was a threat. We did a job fair in the middle of the parking lot and they showed up in droves. Police did. And the store owner came out and said, "Man, I call you all the time. Y'all never show up for us. These guys out here doing a job fair and now y'all show up to shut everything down. Oh, we received a call for disturbance." When these guys out here selling drugs, it's not a disturbance. When these guys are getting shot, it's not a disturbance. But when we out here trying to empower each other and build community, you'll show up to say it's a disturbance. That's not fair. That's not fair. We have to hold each other accountable, but lift each other up, and that's just not fair.
Absolutely.
Do you have an office space?
Yes, we are located at 1109 Mount Olivet, right there on the corner by the yellow corner store. You know what I'm talking about? Mount Olivet in West Virginia, I believe.
And I was just wondering if you could tell us the times your office is open on the first Fridays.
First Fridays. So our VIs on Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays, our violence interrupters are there from 4 p.m. to 12 p.m. in the community. So when we do the thing at the office on the first Fridays, usually we stop around 8 o'clock, you know, but we doors open from about 4 o'clock on.
And then what time are you all at the rec center for
Wednesday? I believe till about 5 p.m. So about 7 p.m. So we start usually when school lets out. It's about 4 or 5 o'clock, and we go about 7 o'clock.
And I'll just say for me, the guys who stand in my corner, which is like Montello and Penn, always say hi. They're always so nice. And I do feel a lot safer knowing that they're there, and also just that they're a regular. Like I see them all the time. It takes time to grow a habit of like building trust and like they're consistent. You guys are consistently there even when hard things are happening. And so I appreciate that you all are there. And I don't know all of them, and they always say hi to me. They have who I am, right? But engaging in the community is an important part of this. So I appreciate you offering opportunities for us to engage.
That's great to hear. You know, the beautiful part about our model with Cure the Streets, and Cure the Streets isn't just a DC thing. Cure is a model that's originated in Chicago about 20 years ago. It's nationwide, really international, right? We have representatives that go all over the world and teach this motto. But part of the unique aspect of it is that it utilizes people that's from that community. So a lot of the guys that you see in this community doing violence interruption work were born and raised here. Their grandmothers from here, their mothers from here, their fathers from here. And so they have a different level of access to individuals that maybe the average individual in this neighborhood can't talk to Crazy Larry over there, but one of our guys could pull up on Larry because they've known him since yay high, right? And so it gives us a different level of access.
And no, I am definitely interested in this 100%. So
thank you.
Do you have social media? Like so like all the dates and stuff that you listed, like you can just share it out, especially like I live in 5D06, so I'm a little bit more to the left of here, but I just want to like if we could spread the message and spread the word and let people know that it exists.
We have social media. It's Cure the Streets on Instagram. Thing is, you gotta be careful because one is Cure the Streets DC. That's not us, I don't think. If you could pull it up, actually, the logo is like white with a black insignia, a black crest. So let me know. Cure the streets. One word. I believe that's is that our Salvador? You just said the black. Okay. I don't know what you're trying to say, brother. And I know because it's two, right? It's two of them. So that's it.
One has DC at the end, one doesn't.
So
You said it's
the
white,
with
kind
the
of black hands looking.
yes, it's our logo. One of our logos.
Do you have an X or a Facebook?
I think we primarily use Instagram.
Oh.
But also we have a link tree. And we have a link tree backslash Cure DC. One word CURE and that has all of our VI outreach workers, and as well as my email in the link tree, and it has our website that gives you a breakdown of everything that we offer with NOC and Cure the Streets. Thank you. I didn't. He threw me under the bus. I didn't expect to. I Adidas sweatpants and all. Yeah.
A follow up on the link tree that you just shared. You said you had all the violence interrupters contact information on there.
Yep.
Why put all the information like
because these are the guys that you want to see. I'm here. This is great. You talk to me. Cool. I can network. But you want to see these guys outside every day. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they out there from 4 to 12. Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, they out there from 12 to 8. In the office every day, we have our outreach workers who connect participants and residents with resources. They're there from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Monday through Wednesday, and then the point is we always got somebody in there, and we're here to help you, serve you. So it's not just me. Cool, you can contact me, but I want you to be able to contact the guys with boots on the ground too, that you want to see every day, that you can contact and say, hey, we having a problem with too many whatever outside. It's getting crazy out here. Cool, we let it go. Now they're getting a little crazy, and our guys will pull up. I want you to build a relationship with our guys. You'll see them. And like you said, like she said, they always gonna. God willing, they always gonna meet you with some love, and if you need protection as well. So that's what we're here to do: service the community. Yes, ma'am.
So I have I'm not sure if you are the best person to address this, but something that I've noticed and have been concerned and not sure how to address it without engaging the police, and that's the sex trafficking.
Okay.
Particularly, and the women that I see on West Virginia and down Olivet and at the gas station at the corner of Neal Street in West Virginia. I suspect that they are
working.
They just say that they're a little bit dilapidated.
Oh yes.
And I've encountered one in my alley,
Yeah.
I don't know how to help.
Yeah. I think it's
and I don't know how old they are, but
right.
Again, they're women, and as a woman, I'm concerned, and
For
I
sure.
also think that they're in my community.
Yes.
And I don't know how we help.
I think if I would, so my approach to it is to definitely incorporate the mental health aspect of it. Because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about addiction. We're talking about drug abuse. We're talking about years of trauma. Unfortunately, showing themselves in this way, right?
Abused by men.
For sure. No, absolutely. Absolutely.
This is not just like I might be tricking for drugs.
Right.
Or, hey, it's a party, it's a gathering.
Yeah. Some of this is human trafficking and all of that. For sure. I think we incorporate people like DBH. I think we reach out to every agency. Actually, that's why when we do this summer kickoff thing, I want everybody there. I want every agency there because this is a universal problem. And you never know. Somebody might not tell you what they need, but they might come to this event and sneak off, talk to her while, you know, oh man, I need mental health, and grab that flyer, you know, while nobody's looking. So I think that's what we got to do. I think we have to see this as a real issue to solve as a community, as opposed to not saying that you were vilifying it. I hear exactly what you're saying. But everybody needs to have that sensitivity to the situation and that empathy and compassion as opposed to using judgment first. Everybody's situation is different, but we're all human. We all one or two things in life away from changing our life dramatically, right? So, I mean, anything can happen at any moment. At any moment. A good guy I know last night, this guy's on top of the world. He's a rapper. He's this and that. He's in Atlanta. Last night, his car flips over 3 times. He posted a picture today, half his leg chopped off, right? He's really optimistic. God is good. I'm alive, right? I'm with him. But in my head, I say, wow, you know, how fast things could change for any of us. For any of us, at any moment. So, I think when we approach these things from a more empathetic point of view and perspective, and incorporate these partnerships that we're talking about, like stuff like this is very important because we can tell Dana, Miss Dana, we can tell Dana what's going on, and she can send out the troops as opposed to them sending out the real troops, you know, and say, oh man, they out here high. I mean, you know, they ain't hurting nobody but themselves, really. And so now we can approach these things with a more communal perspective. I think we'll get more things done when we start to utilize our other resources as opposed to just picking up the phone and saying 911. Yes, man. No, so Cure the Streets, we have sites. Go ahead, you want to ask a question again?
Are you just in this area or do you serve across the district?
Yeah, we Cure the Streets. So here's the thing, by the way. NARC is the agency, right? Is our agency, NARC. But Cure the Streets is the program, right? So there are several Cure the Streets programs in the city that are not necessarily connected to our program. This is, yes. This agency is pretty much based around, NARC is based around the advancement of returning citizens. But you got Father Factor, you got a myriad of different organizations. So NARC, Cure the Streets, we're located, we have 2 spots in Ward 8. We are on North Capitol in Florida. What's that, Eckington they call it now, right? We at Trinidad. And so we have, I think, 1 other location as well. But we're all over. And then we collaborate with the other park. I mean, we have an event in Ivy City, that park, right across from West Virginia. That's on the 9th. So we looking to collaborate with everybody. But yeah, we have sites all over. Yeah, we have sites all over. Anybody else? Man, you did great at the town hall, man. You did great at the town hall. Yeah, you was definitely, you definitely came with that. I appreciate y'all for having us, man. If you need anything, I'll make sure y'all have my number. I'll give you my number right now if you got a pen. Keep it all the way with you. For my 240, this is my personal because I can't remember my business. 240-716. 4402. Now, none of y'all that's on this phone call, don't call me now. 240-716-4402. Give me a call. Let me know or text me if I don't pick up. My name? Floyd. Derek Floyd, but Floyd is fine. And again, thanks for having me. I'm honored and happy and privileged to be here in Trinidad doing the work. You know, I'm glad to be here. For sure. Yes, ma'am. Some of it was online, on live, you know. So I don't know how long that stay. I'll find it, and whatever footage we have, I'll make sure the good man here has it so we can distribute it. Maybe on social media or something like that. Okay. Anybody else? That's it. Thank y'all so much. Thanks for having me.
Close out.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you want to open it to any questions? Okay, thank you, Derek. We appreciate you. So MPD was here, but I think they're taking care of a situation right now. So we're opening the floor to any questions that you just might have in general with Trinidad right now, with the neighborhood, with any ANC matters that we might need to bring to our attention. Because if you don't, we do have our meeting next Tuesday, virtually online. You can find the access information on ANC5D.org. All our meeting info is there. And if you have any questions, if you view the agenda and have any questions, we always ask you to just contact your commissioners directly, because sometimes during the public meetings, we don't have enough time to get to everybody's questions. And if we can get to your questions before the meeting, we can always address it during pretty simply. So I think at the next meeting for the ANC, we have a couple resolutions on the table, two by Commissioner Roblin, one in support of a ceasefire in Gaza, the second in support of the community getting porta potties at the bottom of Montello in Florida. We also are hiring an administrative personnel, and we have a couple BZA matters, specifically on 1725 Montello Avenue and one in Carver Langston off of 19th Street. And I think that's and we have a presentation actually next Tuesday at the ANC meeting by DDOT. They're going to be updating us on the changes that they're doing on Mount Olivet Road and 17th Street. So if you live out that way or commute through those streets, it'll probably be a good opportunity for you to see how it's going to change.
So with the DDOT, they were going to fast track it where it was going to be a summer project. Have they thought through what traffic flow is going to be?
Yeah, so they're supposed to be having some more updated plans for us to actually look at, because for those of you that don't know, DDOT held an open house at the Trinidad Rec Center about a month and a half ago or so. And that was the opportunity for residents to directly look at the map or what they have drawn out and pretty much give commentary. They've taken that commentary and now they're presenting again to the public with what they've updated us with. So hopefully it's going to be a little different from what they had on paper. That was the goal of the open house. But from my understanding, the overall project is installing bike lanes across Mount Olivet Road and 17th Street. Installing some parking on Mount Olivet near the KIPP Elementary School, and addressing some of the safety concerns on 17th. So that's what that project is taking care of right now. Outside of that project, DDOT has another one exclusively just for the entirety of Bladensburg Road. So that one's going to be a big overhaul of Bladensburg Road. When you drive closer up near the 5th District Metropolitan Police Station, the lanes are a lot wider. I think it's 3 lanes on each side. They're going to decrease those, install lanes for buses and I believe bikes, if I'm not mistaken. And they're going to be changing up the parking a bit, coming closer near Starburst Plaza. So those are some major changes as well that are coming up the pipe for anyone that needs to be aware of what DDOT's working on in the area. Anything regarding Florida? Ask Commissioner Roblin, because I'm on the north side and she's on the south side where Florida's at. So if you want to give an update, Commissioner, on Florida Avenue.
Just an update? Okay. So, well, the construction project is due to end October 2024.
So the Florida Avenue construction project is due to end October 2024. They're just working on different parts of it. I don't have any real specific updates. I think the part around 12th Street, 12th Street is going to be done in a couple months. Actually, I don't have any real specific updates for it. We asked for like a change in the streetscape at 12th Street where that circle on the Ward 6 side.
and they're sort of in talks about that. We had a big problem on M Street, Florida and M, where they removed the crosswalks after Director Kirschbaum actually told us, we had been asking them not to remove the crosswalks. The director told us they would keep them for evaluation and then decide, but whoever made the decision went above her and removed them. And we're very worried, very concerned about safety of pedestrians and bikes. They're doing an NOI of some kind. I don't know exactly what it is yet. Christy Kwan of 6C is dealing with that because it's in her SMD. But it's an incredibly dangerous situation that they remove the crosswalks. At the same time as they remove the crosswalks, they coordinated the lights so that traffic is moving faster than ever on Florida. So that made everything even worse. It just seems to me, it seems to Kay Chatterjee of 6A and Christy Kwan of 6C, it's the three of us who have been mostly doing their walkthroughs every couple of months of the Florida construction, that they're catering to cars at the expense of pedestrians, bikes, and scooters. So we are trying to insist that they put them back, but it's not going well. Yeah. And any questions, anybody?
Are they gonna widen Florida from West Virginia to Bladensburg?
13. Are they gonna widen Florida Avenue from West Virginia to, I guess that's 13th Street where it turns?
Yeah. I'm really not sure, but I'll give you the email. I'll give you you all the exact email to ask to contact.
This has just been one lane.
Yeah, I think part of it is that there are widening some lanes on Florida. I'm sorry, I'm not a traffic person, but okay, yeah, but I'll give you the information. I'll post it in the chat also. So MPD is here. Welcome. Yeah, come on. You wanna talk? Yeah. Pardon?
You can stand in front of they see you on the computer. On the Zoom, I mean.
I got you. I'm just kidding.
There you go. And it's Sergeant Taylor?
Yep.
Sergeant Taylor.
Good evening, Sergeant Taylor from the 5th District. Got you. Sergeant Taylor from the 5th District. This is my PSA. Sorry that I'm delayed. I was here and then I had to deal with the situation literally in the rear of this location. I'm honestly here because I want to kind of hear from you. I think last time I came, I kind of told you all my whole approach is to kind of hear the cries of the community, right? I can come with stats. I got papers in the back. I can come with stats, but I want to know real time what you all's concerns are on a day by day. I know what we're trying to do as an agency to combat some of the nationwide things that are existing, but I think it's personal when it's in your community. So I'm here to answer any questions and or concerns when it comes to our community.
Sergeant, we also wanted to hear about, we had a general topic of how to handle the large groups that gather in the nice weather outside.
How do you all handle it, or?
What's like some tips for us to handle it, anything we should watch out for, do, not do?
I would just say to call us, because you don't want to get involved with large crowds, because a lot of times you don't know if there's any type of mischievous things going on, i.e. weapons, i.e. drug, i.e. altered state of mental. I would encourage you all to call us. But when you all do give us a call, give us a decent description. What the people are wearing, approximate size of the crowd. Just give us a little bit more so we can go off, so that when we do approach the block or the area, we know what's going on. We know what to expect. If you did see a weapon, let us know that. I mean, because that heightens up how we do approach that crowd.
But don't just call for no reason, again, like Derek is,
Yeah, yeah. I would encourage you not to. However, if you do have a concern,
I'm not
I'm not
discouraging
discouraging you from calling, if that makes sense.
What do you consider a large group? What do you consider a large group?
Uh, hmm.
I mean,
I mean, honestly, that's kind of like situational based because it could be three to five individuals causing commotion, and it can be right. So it just
They're
mhm.
nothing but talking amongst themselves.
It's at your discretion. I can't tell you how to feel when it comes to, like I said, 3 to 5 individuals might not bother me. As you can have 50 people that are just peacefully having a good time at a block party. You can have 3 or 5 that are just loud, causing commotion. You know that there's some type of maybe illegal acts that are occurring. So I can't really tell you crowd-wise how much it is. I mean, I know the cliche is 2's a party, 3's a crowd. So, I mean.
So I'm gonna give an example,
Sure.
this past weekend, no, not this past weekend, it was raining. Last weekend
Mhm.
on Neal Street, I
Mhm.
guess it's Neal and Staples. There were, I guess it was an informal gathering. I would say that there were cars parked on all sides. They had lawn, they had chairs, they had mopeds, and they were just milling around in the intersection, blocking. Like, I'm trying to go straight through on Neal Street, and these are people partying out of, it was like a cabaret, only there was no specific entertainment. Doors open and they're milling around on the mopeds and bikes and lawn chairs and blocking people from just driving through and drinking, smoking, you can smell it. Now, they weren't rude, it's just, there was just this impunity that I can stand in the middle of the street and you're not gonna do anything, type of thing.
Did you call us?
I did not. I chose not to because it's my community and these are my neighbors and they periodically do this crap. But I had to, blink the lights, so I could go through and then they reluctantly moved aside and I passed on through slowly. But those type of impromptu 50 people, a lot of tags from Maryland that come into the neighborhood and they're playing the music loud and it's 11 o'clock. And like you said, an impromptu block party.
So those are things we need to know about because we can enforce the noise ordinance that we have in the place. There are a lot of things blocking passage. I mean, there are a lot of things that we could have enforced as well as that large crowd. That's a large gathering. Okay. So and that could have went left very quickly. So although those are your neighbors, if you don't want to call us and those are your neighbors, then you could have possibly maybe said something to one of them in terms of, hey, can I get through? I don't know. Me personally, I wouldn't engage. I would just call us. There's 311 where you can be anonymous in terms of, hey, there's a large crowd going on. There are a lot of different ways to get our attention when it comes to things where you want to be kind of anonymous and or fly in what you do. But that's something that we need to know because had that gone left, now we have mass casualties in terms of, you get what I'm saying? Like that's how I'm looking at it in terms of a managerial standpoint. So, I mean, that's all I can do is encourage you to call us because that's something that would have been of great concern for us. Yeah, so in the District of Columbia, there's a certain time that you could play loud music or you could just be loud. It's, quote me if I'm not wrong, it's 10 to 7. 10 to 7 are the hours. No, 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. I'm sorry, 10 p.m. Right. So like if you call on your neighbor and they're being loud, right? And we go, there's parameters that we have to follow too. We have to give warnings. We can't just go in there and make an arrest, but give warnings. If it still persists, then we can go in there and take some type of police action. But there's no free fall. It's not, 2 a.m. and the music is still bumping. You gotta let us know. Because we don't know. We get other calls, we might have drove through your street. We don't hear anything because they might have saw us in the distance and shut it down. But as soon as we leave, now it's back blaring. You get what I'm saying? So like I said, there are things that we could do if you feel like your hands are tied. But if we don't know. Yes, every night.
Can everybody wait for the mic because we're recording and it's going on YouTube and not great if they can't hear the question. Thanks.
I have a question.
I had a question about, I've been seeing an increase in people wearing, just a special security, I think. I don't think it's a special police on the, metro. There's been like an increase in special security. Is that through FPD?
If it's on the metro, no, it's not.
Not you all.
Yeah, no, it's not. I have no idea. That's a great question though, but I have no idea. That's not sanctioned through us.
And
maybe they're trying to beef up their police presence as well. I would assume that. Sure.
We have a lottery. I said the word, lottery, that word. We
Yeah.
don't.
Mm-mm. So we can just, we can enforce laws on public space, but there is a no. Yeah.
When they take up the sign.
Right, like blocking passage, stuff like that. But there's the loitering. No, we do not have that. Yeah, of course.
And I guess just overall, at least I know in my district, I heard there's an uptick in here. Like, what do you all see that here, or is that?
I think it's nationwide. I think it's nationwide. I think we all see it. Are you talking about specific types of crimes, or are you just talking about crime in general?
It's like, what is the current flow kind of the state of where we are here at 5 or 5? I don't know if that's too fair.
Yeah,
So if you think directly on the front lines in general, y'all, in your experience, do you see it going up, going down, or is it stagnant? I know as we come closer to the summer, it increases. But in terms of what we've been leading up to the past couple of months, what is y'all?
I think it's ebbs and flows with it. We have our periods where we don't see as much of an uptick, and then we have our times where it's just skyrocketed. We do have a lot of overtime that's been disseminated throughout the department, so that helps out in terms of you all seeing more manpower, in terms of us being able to work more hours on our days off. So I think that helps. But I really can't tell you because today might be a great day. Tomorrow it might look like, you know what I mean? Like we're just degressing when it comes to all that we did the day before progression-wise. So I think that's a hard question to answer. But my concern is with the summertime coming, there systemically is an uptick in crime with the summertime, with the warmer weather. So, that is of concern for the agency. However, as of right now, I think it's just ebbs and flows with it. I can't really speak on, what we're seeing because, I might be seeing one thing because I'm working this particular day, but another officer, another sergeant might be seeing an uptick in another area because they're working on a different day. You get what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to kind of give you a definitive answer when it comes to that.
A lot of the crime that we do have in i.e. leaving items, so individuals can see. So try to put your, long hours and put your valuables, don't leave them. We have a program called the camera. We cameras on the residence, get motionalized to prevent breaking.
That's fair. That's a piggyback off that. Most important, like you said, with the large gatherings, we got to know that. Honestly, if we don't know, we can't better assist you all because large gatherings become block parties, become possible tragedies in terms of mischievous crime. So that's something that we need to know.
Is there a curfew put in the summer for the youth particularly? I think a lot of us get confused sometimes with what's in place, what's not in place. Is there a curfew? I think especially when school's about to be out, so we're gonna see a lot more on the street. Is there anything in place that we should be aware that maybe they should be following?
So when school's out, it's kind of different, right? So I think the mayor might give that one. She normally declares that, but during school, there are parameters that they have to follow in terms of what time they need to be home, because that's how we have like curfew violators. But summertime is a little different because they don't have school. So once the mayor lets us know where we're going with that, then we can better assist in terms of facilitating them to get inside the houses and stuff like that, you know.
So during the school year, there is a curfew outside of the school calendar,
Yeah. Mhm.
Perfect.
Anything else?
Okay, so the new, easy crime bill went through, I know changes, and I saw that signs went up for, drug-free zone. Can you remind us, what the, additional, I'm trying to be neutral about the question, the additional penalties that may cause, and like, what is the actual zone? Is it just the block of school zone, like what we are here, if we see something, we move it one block over, then if he calls, the penalties will not be applied, correct? It's like, you have to be literally within the zone not to have to happen.
Right, so the zones move, they're different zones, it's not just the same zone every single time. So depending upon where, downtown, which is, you know, our headquarters, deems, a drug problematic area, it changes. And it's not for, extensive amount of time, correct me if I'm wrong, it's I wanna say it's like 94, 96 hours, and then we have to move, so don't quote me on the time, but it's like 3 or 4 days, it's not long, we have to move and shift each time.
That's only
So it's
downtown,
not,
or that's in.
no, so downtown gives us the location.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So like, it might be 1200 block of Rom Street, and 4 days later it might be, I don't know, 1200 block of Mount Olivet, like it moves. So once we get,
Signs, how do we know?
you'll see the signs, you'll see the signs move, you'll see the signs.
Okay, and then what are the additional penalties if something is done in the drug-free zone versus not?
So if it's not in the drug-free zone, there's a different approach we have to take. And in the drug-free zone, it's kind of like a no tolerance. So
It's a lot stricter.
Yeah,
I'm worried
so
about that bill, so I'm trying to
yeah.
address the situation by
Yeah,
not
sure.
having anything more, right? Like if I choose to
Sure.
engage.
What, if you don't mind me asking, what area are you speaking of?
Well, I guess I saw the sign go up, they're near the school.
Sure.
I think they really want, I just didn't notice it before this all happened, but again, as a member of the community, when I engage in a situation, I try to, and I have conflict resolution power. So I'm trying to de-escalate it, and I know that in a drug-free zone, there are more penalties, because there's zero tolerance, right? So instead of aggravating someone more by having to engage MPD, have to engage MPD, I'd rather move it to a place where there is some tolerance, so that maybe you can talk. That's my personal take on it, right? I haven't had to deal with drug-free zones yet in an instance, but I'm just trying to understand that, like, if I'm talking to someone and I say, hey, I need MPD, there's a gun that was pulled, right? And I want to give them all the information, like, you're in a drug-free zone right now, so when I call and they come, like, these are the additional penalties versus if we walk a block that way.
What you're expressing in terms of a gun being pulled, don't care what zone it is, that's a crime. So if a person pulls a gun, you're talking about pulling a gun out on you?
I'm saying like instances I've been a part of where they're like, I have a gun, they're not pulling a gun at me, there's like a, you know, people get aggravated and they make threats. Again, I have conflict resolution skills, so I'm thinking my personal thing, I'm just asking, what are the increased penalties when you're in a drug-free zone versus if it's not a drug?
It kind of just depends, honestly. Like I said, it kind of just depends. Like, I can't really give you a definitive, because it depends on, there's different factors. Like, if somebody has marijuana, it might be a different penalty than somebody who has cocaine and a gun. So I can't really tell you specifically what the penalty is. It depends. So I want to say on our website, we have the drug-free, it's called DFZ for us, but drug-free zone, information. I want to say they probably have an email. They most certainly probably have an email that you can email directly to say, okay, if this happens, then this. But I can't tell you definitively because it just depends. You know, you might have called for drug activity, and then we see so much more. You know, recovery stolen auto. Now we got it's just so much more that goes on when you open up that world in terms of giving us a call from whatever you see. So I really can't give you a definitive answer if that makes sense.
That makes sense, thank you.
So since the drug zones have been are you guys noticing a change in those areas that are drug zones? And the only reason I'm asking, they're moving everything 4 days. Is there a pattern of change that's happening, or it's just an additional
from my opinion, I think I do see some shifting. I can't speak on the statistics of what's going on, but on my opinion, I think I do see, you know, a shifting in terms of individuals not hanging and congregating as much as they used to.
So,
and they're well aware of what's going on. They know, the enforcement, because in those areas, there's more police presence. So for me, I think I see it shifting, but I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me in terms of statistically, because sure, the drug-free zones are in every district. So I'm sure that there has been some disbursement, but I'm just saying, for me, I've seen a change. That makes sense.
I'll go after you.
I have another question. What is the impact of this 24-hour security, office that the person, I might be describing.
RTCC, the real-time crime center?
What are they calling it?
Real-time crime
The
center.
real-time crime center. What is that for in relation to the average citizen? What do we benefit from? So how do we benefit?
So the beauty behind it is it's a real-time center. So if we need cameras pulled immediately, crime cameras, they're in that center 24 hours. Versus, before you have to kind of reach out, they're not, they might be 9 to 5 or something like that. So we have real-time access, so we can get information flowing throughout the department if a crime is committed a lot quicker. They're on. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So this is similar to like what England has with their CCTV everywhere. So
we,
has there been
right, we'll be able to access it.
Okay,
24, that's the difference. We'll be able to access it 24 hours versus having to wait till the morning time and then, navigate the footage, and now for a little bit, working behind. This is real time.
So does that, so has MPD employed more cameras, more surveillance cameras in the community so that this would be more effective? Is that what's
So that I can't speak on. I just know the cameras that we do have, we're able to access them 24 hours. But in terms of if they implemented more, what they do is they move them. So it might appear as if, they're putting more, but they might have just moved them from a different location. So I'm not saying that they haven't implemented more, but they do move too.
Well, I know we just got one in the Park. I think it's permanent.
I mean,
They're downtown looking at numbers. They're looking at, like these DFZ zones. They're looking at, crime. They're looking at all of this. They're looking at everything. That's why you see what you see. You might randomly see one there, then 2 weeks later it's somewhere else. I mean, but they're looking at real time so that we can combat. You know what I mean? So we're trying to be one step ahead, if that makes sense. But the real time center is a great thing that the chief implemented. A great thing.
So I just and about the zone that watching was 7 to 8 on video. I forget which it was. They said there was a problem with drug-free zone was 7, where what happened was the people who used to hang out there and left there went to the library and overdosed in front of like people in the library, including children. So they were saying something to the fact that they didn't work out too well there. I just saw that on the debates.
overdose can happen anywhere.
But I guess they left the area, and I guess it was assumed that they wouldn't like have they didn't leave.
State migration. That's where you say.
I don't know. But,
To the question. Yes, Sergeant. Okay, so you've been here for a few months now. So this might be a pop quiz. But just for folks to know here in Trinidad, what are the deadly hotspots right now?
So it's Mount Olivet. You got Rom Street. Like it's like a little box. So you got Sims Place. Rom. Sims. Yeah, Trinidad. It's like a little box area. It's majority where you all are, honestly. Where you are. We have that's staff 24/7. Okay.
So it's just northern Trinidad. It's not any other part of that right now. Probably. So I think on the north end, I do recommend my support that when and I do recognize presidents I saw some outside of your crowd last night. Okay. But we do appreciate the president. Some neighbors might get agitated, lots of black and white instantly, and sometimes we want to see that, but president himself, we forget. But My
My question was
was,
really any answer.
just to make
Just to
sure
make
that
sure that we're
we're
aware of those spaces and if there's any new spaces that we should be aware of,
like this
like,
now.
And with that, not to cut you off, when we have like, more resources, i.e. like if, let's say we have a overtime, we might reallocate those overtime units to north of Trinidad. So I can't, that's why I don't want to lock into saying it's just right here, because that is a roving unit. It's not a stagnant unit. And if we have more manpower, they will migrate down to the north side. We are aware of that. So it's just like I said, it's just, like I said, with ebbs and flows, it's just day by day.
And then, the second
question was,
Sure.
going back to the DFC, drug-free zone, are there any in the district right now?
Yeah, currently it's North Capitol on Peace Street.
Okay. Was the one that first
first one implemented this district was off of Mount Olivet, and, that's the only one in Pittsburgh that we've had so far.
It moves.
Okay.
Oh, it moves. So we had that one. I want to say we had, was it Mount Olivet? It literally moves. Oh, it started off on Ron Street, like Ron Street, yeah.
Trinidad and it was all right there. Any
And then what's the
free zones, like y'all came back again? I don't
Not
think
that I
so.
know. Yeah, I think they're trying to hit up each spot first, and then they'll double down on the problematic.
I know when y'all were at north and we did the drug-free zone there. They might have got like two folks acting up in the moment of things. And it was, I think one individual was just didn't want to leave, and another one. I think you also confiscated a weapon. So we're probably not seeing exactly what we think we want to see, or seeing stuff that we don't want to see, like busting heads and stuff like that. But it wasn't implementation bad, and you know it's a work in progress.
Have you noticed an uptick in sex trafficking?
Personally, I have not. I have not. Yeah, I have not.
Okay. And
they used to have a unit that was designated to that, which was human trafficking unit. They have since been disbanded. So,
Because I've noticed, but that's the
random.
random.
Have you?
Well, I mean, somebody standing on the corner, looking altered, and then various way of undress does not necessarily mean they're doing anything, but if they're looking at me when I'm driving by, I'm just saying that. Well, okay. Well, definitely, West Virginia and Mount Olivet, on the corner, and then, they walk down West Virginia Columbia Street. Just
all I can do is encourage you just to kind of let us know, even if you want to call it, even if it's a 301 suspicious person. You know what I mean? Like I'm not telling you to profile because they might just be walking down the street. I mean, I'm not. But if you feel as though it's something to the level in which you want us to investigate, you understand what I'm saying? Then just give us a call.
So I'll ask a question on top of that. I've had a question, I just never knew how to respond. I haven't seen an uptick in the working girls in West Virginia, but I have seen a lack of certain spaces that I would always see on West Virginia. Have there been any, it includes our homes as well, not just the working girls, but has there been any matters or cases of pretty much people dying, and we're just not aware that they're a homeless person happened to be, just overdosed, and like those kind of cases. Have you found any bodies lately against Trinidad? It's been a case in the last couple of years. No, it's been a case in the last couple of years where sometimes, at least in 5305 in Northern Trinidad, we literally have bodies brought in apartments or abandoned homes sometimes. So have you had any of those kind of cases recently, to your knowledge?
To my knowledge, no. I mean, we have our natural deaths, and we have our overdose, but anything suspicious, I mean, I don't want to speak on the entire district. I'm just telling you, I have not seen that. Like I said, I mean, the overdoses, it is what it is when it comes to that. We're trying to combat that. We're trying to, move those individuals along, but that type of scenario.
Well,
I'm trying to say we see more cases of demo being rather than them getting going somewhere else. So
in those
in those
situations,
situations, we don't see a regular every now and then, 9 times out of 10,
they're not
they're
all
not
over.
with us.
One
One
time
time
at
at a time,
they actually got
they got
service.
services, we actually clean there.
If
You
you go
go on
on
my Instagram, there's a
beautiful
beautiful
example
example of when they used to just
go
go
from
from house to house
in
in
Trinidad,
Trinidad, and now they're in a
much better
much better
situation.
situation.
Just looks
Just
so
looks
much.
so much healthier.
But
But
usually,
usually that is the rarity compared to the reality that we see.
so I
So I don't
don't
know
know
if that's information that
you
you
would
would
share
share.
if you
If
do
you
find
do
them
find those kind of instances of
overdose.
overdoses or bodies due to these kind of conditions, but
I usually
don't do them, and hopefully.
I have no more questions. I'll leave my card with, I think you have my card, correct? From the last time? If not, I'll give you another one. And like I said, okay, sure, no, that's no worries. And I'm in the CSA. I work evenings, so you all need anything, my email is attached to the card. Shoot me any questions you have, I'll answer them as quick as I can. I got you.
Do you want to just read it or email it in your phone number to everybody who's on computer, who's on phone? Just so, because instead of us trying to show them the card.
That's fine.
Brianna.Taylor
at dc.gov.
Can you spell it?
It's BRIANNA Taylor, TAYLOR at dc.gov. And I'll attach the district number on here. I'll give you the chart or the district office number so that you all can gain some access to my phone.
Oh, yeah, because people be watching something.
Sure, yeah. Absolutely.
But my
My
email,
email, yep.
I answer my
I answer
email
my
very
email
regularly.
very regularly, so.
There you go. All right, what's your meeting? West Virginia.
Thank you, everybody. That's all for tonight. Thanks for joining us on YouTube. Okay. And, see you, the first Monday in June. First Monday in July, first Monday in August. And hopefully we'll have, Zachary Carter, as a guest. Of course.